What if angels say we're headed for freedom, but algorithms disagree? What if rather than being boundless, the internet is full of boundaries? And what if rituals can push you to confront a platform and reveal truths? Let's find out. Rituals. The Supreme Pentagram lets you experience global, transgenerational currents expressed through cultural and political ideas. You have Har-Sephirotic names and zodiac signs working through the personal elements of your microcosm. The SRP renders the veil between you and those from the position of Samak and Pe in the Kabbalistic Tree of Life. It increases quality between your subjective reality and some objective truths. It also includes Enochian names often related to the Ophanim, the wheels with eyes, the angels of Chokmah, the second Sephira. Now, while I'm by no means a quote-unquote high adept, I found ways to cycle the SRP to sustain peak creativity, and when I do, it unravels critical truths. There's an inexplicable urge to do something I'd likely otherwise wouldn't, a seemingly insignificant side quest that when completed proves game-changing. The last time I felt a real need to press on YouTube's creator support, and upon navigating some confusing phrasing, it turned out that no matter what, my works are first pulled for viewers based on location for which they were never meant. If the content engages the locals, it gets quote-unquote pulled or suggested to a broader audience. If it doesn't, it gets killed prematurely. False freedom. Depending on where you're based, none of this makes sense. Or maybe it makes too much sense. Let's break it down. Option 1. Your content is on global but niche topics like esotericism, philosophy, holistic living, etc. entirely in English, but the algorithm suggests it to the locals first. The locals expect content in their local language on locally relevant topics, so they do not engage and the algorithm punishes your work. Option 2. You create locally engaging content in a locally relevant language. In theory, the algorithm expands the reach, yet nobody engages as they don't speak that language or resonate. Angels. Aaron Leach is one of the leading experts on Enochian magic, both Golden Dawn and Original. In his appearance on the Riker and Stark podcast, Aaron shares that the angels assured him that we are moving toward a better world and decentralization. As an idealist fascinated with the occult, I really want to trust Aaron. However, my experience as a creator and internet user keeps me skeptical. Algorithms. In his recent discussions and book Nexus, the historian Yuval Noah Harari makes some pretty radical claims, which sadly ring a few bells. Yuval stresses that most engagement on TikTok, Twitter, Threads, etc. doesn't actually come from humans, but from algorithms pretending to be, while predetermining what is to be shown and perceived as true or valuable. Ghosts and assumptions. Hearing that reminded me that about 40% of my viewers are US-based, while about 50 of the remaining 60% are unidentifiable. Yes, many people watch without logging in or even having an account, but do those same individuals have been making up all the remaining 60% consistently for the past 4.5 years? Let me know what you think. The Dark Ages. This echoes what an occult author replied after I reviewed and wished success to his book. He noted that thanks to the algorithm favoring nonsense and conspiracy theories, that likely won't happen. And what do you know? Yuval mentioned something very similar regarding the medieval ages. Back then, Copernicus's theories, for instance, wouldn't be published by the press, which favored sensational stories about witches and conspiracies that triggered engagement. So here's your medieval TikTok. Yuval goes further by noting that truth, value, and perhaps even art get buried by more information and cheap dopamine hits thanks to algorithms acting as humans. Although he didn't say that literally, perhaps such a preliminary algorithmic engagement can entirely predetermine the fate of a piece regardless of its value and production. MTV. Meanwhile, I landed on a Medium article by Dan Burn Was Taken discussing the creator economy. Dan notes that while in the 80s, getting your music video on MTV pretty much guaranteed financial success, today that role belongs to the algorithm, but without any transparency. Imagine MTV deciding what to play based on where you live, not the quality of work. Like Netflix, this is precisely what social platforms do. Dan goes along by saying that, quote, the creator economy sold as freedom, a way for creators to make a bit of money for their art, quickly evolved into make your art suitable as an ad or you'll never afford reach. And our ad also makes sure it makes sense based on your local area. That seems to be very important. Decentralization. Now, decentralization might be real if you're in the US, Canada, or the UK, or a cookie cutter one trick pony who's all about going hyperlocal either way. For the rest of us, the algorithm is the new iron veil, dressed like an every year repeating once in a lifetime opportunity, as gurus and quote unquote growth hackers define it. Dan notes that the algorithm favors gurus like Gary Vee, sucking up all the attention, which is in fact limited and the new currency. Speaking of that, thousands of artists actually abandon Instagram after finding out that the algorithm deliberately doesn't notify their audience when they post. No, this is not entropy. It is a centralized authority permanently clustering attention around or feeding attention to other centralized authorities. Separation. Based on my research, the angels really wanted us to unite. As Aaron said, they tend to dislike humans due to things like war. Now, suppose that war is the highest on the separation scale from 1 to 10. In that case, I wonder where algorithms would fall as they separate creators and audience, preventing forming aggregates of stars based on soul, not location. The technology is clearly available, but centralized authorities use it against us. Unhealthy reflections. Such reflections aren't healthy as they make me question the prophecy of the new Aeon. Yet Uncle Al also warned us that due to the clashing of paradigms, the first years will be the hardest and darkest, similar to the Dark Ages in Europe. Considering Yuval, he was probably right. Maybe decentralization wasn't supposed to be geographic or technological. Maybe it's psychic and spiritual. And maybe the veil we are really lifting, ritually or digitally, is the one that hides just how centralized things have always been. Either way, if you need magic manuals or diagrams, or struggle with getting in shape or discipline, check my books and digital stores. You'll likely find something useful. But that's just my opinion. Thank you for your time.